Forward. I really like the word forward because in this business, to be the best, you have to be always thinking forward. And that's in every single aspect of what you do day in and day out. I play a game of 1%ers. I think that if you do everything 1% better than the next guy, you'll end up 10, 20% better than the next guy. And that leads to listings. That leads to great new projects. Being in a boutique agency is extremely rewarding because every single day is a new day and it's full of different challenges. And one of the really rewarding parts about it is that I can go sniff out any deal I want to do and do it. So for example, right now I'm working with a developer right from the word go on a new development coming out on Honour Avenue in Graceville, 293 Honour Avenue, Graceville to be exact. It's a 2-story new development. It'll be open come February. It's underpinned by 130 place childcare operated by Harmony upstairs. My job has been to be finding all the retailers downstairs. So knowing the Graceville area as well as I do and being the #1 agent in that area, I've been able to sort of really look at that area and find what the missing links are. So I've got people in there from high-end fine wine purveyors, a young real estate outfit who's going to take a position. I've got women's boutique. I've got gelato. I've got a banh mi and faux Vietnamese takeaway involved. I've got boutique furniture going into another position there. And I've got women's boutique called Piper and Blue, who are a local favourite down there for the ladies, taking another position. Again, looking at property, if you've got a childcare above at 130 places, you've got to think about who your demographic is. The demographic there is high-end blue chip families who are having their children dropped off in the morning and picked up in the evening. So we've really looked at a tenant mix to try to complement that main anchor tenant. The sale of 16 Baruna Road and 271 Milton Road was a really excellent exercise in identifying buyers and really listing its pros and cons. When you're listing a property, you really got to understand the uniqueness. Every property is unique, but particularly freehold properties like this. It's an inner city lot, 2 lots. We have 1 lot fully leased to tenants, rolling out to 2041 in the case of KFC, and then we had effectively a vacant lot behind it, which is 271 Milton Road, which was actually zoned CR2, but used very importantly at the moment as a parking facility for the front property at 16 Baruna. When I was looking at sort of putting this on market and the marketing strategy, I had to really balance the pros and cons. Running through some of the pros, its location is fantastic. It's flood-free, 300 metres to Suncorp, 100 metres to Milton Station, a kilometre to Brisbane CBD, inner west blue chip neighbourhood, and right next to a brand new Coles Local that's going up and be open before Christmas. A lot of positives for this. Also, its combined land-rich nature, which is 2,614 square metres. The cons, we had to really look at WALE and say, well, all right, we've got a big lease in KFC going to 2041, but the other leases, it was quite tempting to try to get the other leases all up and try to increase the WALE. With Coles opening just next door at Christmas, we felt that the timing was really right to keep those leases on track to finish when they're meant to be finishing. Bearing in mind, we've got a 2.5-year WALE here, which allows the new buyer a lot of rent revision just around the corner. So even though they just spent 4.4% on what is, I understand, is the tightest yield in Queensland over the last 18 months for this asset class, they really understood the rent revision prospect being next to Coles. Long story short, the marketing campaign netted 90 inquiries. We got 8 written offers, and I was able to sell this to a local investor with great local interest who understood the property, understood the long-term nature of the hold. It's a developer, but it's somebody rare in the development world that can hold to 2041 or thereabouts to be able to reposition the property. And that was the golden nugget. 4.4% return on that from a yield point of view. The owner, of course, is delighted. We're very pleased to obviously continue managing that into the future. So this is a really great property. We'll run through the pros. Pros is location. It's located really just catty corner to Toowong Village, right there just off Coronation Drive in Benson Street, which then gives you highway access effectively into the western suburbs and also the city. It's located near the ferry terminal. It's near bus, it's near train, and importantly, it has 5 car spaces, which is a nice allotment for a 261 square metre space. And most importantly, it has private elevator access. It is a whole floor position, and therefore I was able to put a nice premium price on it. So we run the campaign at 1.5 million as an asking price. In this case, there's a lot of evidence around in Strata to be able to price Strata correctly. This was at the high end of the range for the reasons I just mentioned. Within a month, we had 2 offers. It was fantastic. Both allied medical users that saw value in the elevator, saw value in the parking, as well as the amenity. So all in all, a really great result, and that will be settling in the next couple of weeks. If you have any questions about your vacant Strata titled office, now is a really good time to talk. stock. Vacant possession is definitely the darling in the office market at the moment. So if you have a vacant possession office that you're looking at advice around, just give us a call and we can walk through your asset. So 100 Coombe Street in Indooroopilly has been a property I've been on for at least a decade now. It's affectionately known around the place as the Bunnings building, so you guys probably know it from that point of view. It has a really mixed sort of tenancy mix in there, but what happened in this particular case is that the landlord lost 3 tenants in fairly quick succession, all for different reasons, and so suddenly we went from a full house to 3 leases. It's pretty easy to panic in those situations, but really it's just about thinking that through. Where my advice sort of comes in is that I'm able to sort of look at the building and try to identify like-for-like tenants. For example, this building not only has Bunnings, but it has a very large medical facility upstairs where there are sort of 12 or so GPs in a multidisciplinary medical practice writing scripts. So that's number 1. It has a dental practice down next to Sushi Train on the main deck. So that's point 2. It has a really active cafe in the morning down there, point 3. And it has really great parking, point 4. Pros, lots of parking, really well positioned next to Indooroopilly's train station, and a great tenant mix to work with. So I went out, found 3 tenants in reasonably quick succession. First was an exercise physiologist that worked straight off the back of the medical facility upstairs. Second tenant was Pilates, which really worked well again with that sort of health and wellness thing. And third tenant was a mathnasium tenant, mathematics tutoring, and that really works with a music school, which is also on site, a place called Sono Music. It's really pleasing. We've been able to I've been able to sort of reposition that property within the space of a few months, and we're back to a full house. Everyone's on 5+5 year leases, and part of our job here is to advise. Property advisory is a big part of our work, and identifying quickly where the holes are and the best strategy to fill the holes. My journey in real estate really started in my early 40s. I sort of felt that I needed a lot of life experience before I got stuck into real estate. You're dealing with people's most prized assets, where they've got the most money tied up in life in, and I felt that having a wide level of experience in business in other aspects in life was a very important baseline to even be in a position to advise. I just felt that I wasn't in that position when I was in my 20s and 30s. I came back from the US, where I worked for many years. I'd been in a wholesale business over there. I'd also had done a lot of work in retail over my years. I did some legal work in my early part of my career, and I'd also travelled the world and been a freelance photographer. Interestingly, all those things have really fused together and underpin my journey in commercial real estate. Not only do you have to be able to talk to a wide range of stakeholders, whether it's tenants, owners, developers, buyers, but you've also got to understand their business needs. So I feel that my wide-ranging business experience is extremely helpful for that. And most importantly, I just really like business. I like small business, I like enterprise, I love entrepreneurship, I love people having a crack, and that's what Australia's made of, is people having a crack. And I'm as Aussie as the next guy in that respect. It's just been all go for me. I've jumped on the bandwagon and haven't looked back.